2018, I bore witness to Ahmed Tallaght,
for Ashtar Theatre,
to Allah Hajar,
to Amjad Abu Yassin,
to Ran Dior,
to Sami al-Shajawi,
Ali al-Hassani,
Fatima Abu Hasham,
Mohammed El Omrani,
for Heba Daoud,
for Yasmin Jarour,
for Yasmin Abu Amir.
and I'm doing the same in 2024. All my life, I thought Gaza was the biggest and most beautiful city in the world. But once I went with my dad to Jaffa and came back with my head spinning. After that, I felt that Gaza was the size of a needle hole and wasn't beautiful, and it keeps getting smaller and worse.
Gaza for me was joy and happiness, trips and going to the sea.
The thing I love most in Gaza is that it's not like the other countries. Other countries have lots of problems: famine, siege, division, occupation, bombing, destruction, and death. But we have none of these issues. That's why I love Gaza a lot.
Our future in Gaza is obscure and unknown, like a calm volcano that can erupt at any second. It's as if we're on a boat without a captain in the midst of a raging sea. We go right, we go left, and no one knows where to lean. The war opened up with bombing like rain.
Relax, girls. Don't be scared. This is just the sound of aimless shooting. That's what our teacher said as soon as the bombing started.
We all started crying, our tears falling because of the phosphorus.
The Israeli planes were in the air. The sound of the helicopter was like a monster waiting to pounce on its prey.
horror, fear, death, and destruction.
I feel like running in the streets till my headscarf flies into the sky and I fly after it.
I saw my father sitting on the chair, crying. It was the first time I saw my father cry, and he was holding a picture of my brother Tarek. And I asked him, "Dad, was my brother murdered?" He said, "God have mercy on his soul."
When the bombing began, all the schools in Gaza went home, except us. The principal wouldn't let us leave. The kids freaked out, and in a second, they went out into the schoolyard. The weird thing is that I'm in the Zaytuna school, the one near the Ministry of Passports, which got hit first. With the first hit, a piece of rocket flew onto the biggest tree in the school and sliced it in two like a sugar cane. As soon as we saw that, no one stayed in school. Students, teachers, or the principal. We fled for our lives.
We came running out of school in fear and found the whole world running in the streets. People were looking for their sons and sisters and mothers. Everyone was running with their heads raised to the sky. Honestly, they looked strange. I saw one of them from a distance wearing pajamas, barefoot and running. When I first saw her, I didn't recognise her. But when I got close to her, wow, that's my uncle's wife. The chic one who doesn't leave the house without looking top notch. Then I was sure the war had started.
When the war started, we were playing football, and the atmosphere was strange. The sky was red. Suddenly we heard the sound of a plane. I never heard a sound like that. We were all scared and lay on the ground waiting for death. After that, we heard the sound of a loud explosion meters away from us. We started looking in each other's faces and silently saying goodbye. Turned out the bombing wasn't meant for us. It was the targeting of a car, of wanted men on the road above. We kept lying down waiting for the second rocket. And all I could think of was my two older brothers who were with me. I was more afraid for them than for myself. And I think they also felt the same way.
All the war was one pile, and Mum was the other. I'll never understand why Mum kept describing things to me that I'd already seen. She and I were standing on the balcony. They bombed our neighbour's house, and one of the neighbours died. We saw the house was destroyed, and how the corpse flew onto the street. And you can imagine what happened after that.
I went to the house of my friend Zaki, who lives near the station. I was missing a lot, and I hadn't seen him for more than 10 days. I got to his house, and I was in a hurry because my dad wanted to see me. I went inside the house without knocking on the door. His mom considers me her son, and me too. I said hello to her and my friend, hugged him, kissed him, and said hello to his brothers and quickly left. When there was 20 meters between me and their house, I heard the loud sound of a plane, and after the sound, a rocket falling on my friend's house. People started screaming that the house was bombed. I couldn't believe it. I looked back at my friend's house and I saw fire, smoke. I'd never seen anything like that.
I'm in the Rimmel school near the Ministry of Passports, which was first hit by the war. All the ministry flew into the school. All the girls started crying, except me. I was laughing, and till today, I don't know why I was laughing. When I went home and turned on the TV, I saw all the buildings around our school destroyed, with corpses lying next to each other. I saw our school, but I didn't see myself on TV, and I thanked God. I hope there won't come a day when I'm on TV, because we don't get anything from it except death.
When daytime was over and the night came, we would say, "The night has come with its worries." We couldn't even sleep. I used to sleep for 15 minutes and I'd wake up for 3 hours. How can you sleep with bombing going on? And you're lying in your bed waiting for your fate. Sometimes I'd look into the sky from the edge of the window and find that the world's so red with fire and smoke everywhere. And I'd ask myself, why is the whole world at rest while we're living in an inferno?
When I see a child pedaling in the street or working in a shop, I imagine how all the children of the world are playing, resting, and feeling safe. Honestly, my heart breaks for them, and sometimes I cry. Gaza has no tenderness and no childhood. A boy is born a man here, and a girl is born a bride.
The war came and went, and we're still living it. The victims are always the poor people who have nothing to do with anything. Even when there's an earthquake or a flood in any country, the victims are the poor people, as though there's a universal conspiracy against them. After the war, everyone started lying to everyone else. Lies, cheating, dishonesty, deceitfulness. I've lost trust in all mottos. The biggest speech from the biggest leader is bullshit. All leaders in the world don't warm up a cold person or someone sleeping in a tent after the war. The crisis is that the whole world is watching us as though there's nothing going on, and they're still making speeches.
Gazans are deprived of everything anyway. It doesn't stop at theatre. Sometimes I think people in Gaza barely find food. How are they going to go to the theatre? You know what? I wish I could live in a civil, democratic society with peace and 20 cinemas, and keep watching movies and flying in my imagination and dreaming.
Since my brother was murdered, I got used to sleeping in the bed alone. We used to sleep one on top of the other, legs on top of heads. Sometimes it felt like our limbs were jumbled together. But today, I have a bed by myself. I'll never forget my brother.
After the war, I started to always dress in a very clean and tidy way, so that if I die, I would die a nice death. But it would be the biggest problem if I was hit by a rocket, because I'd become 100 pieces, and I'd like to die in one piece.
After the war, I visited Rafah Crossing and saw the flags of Palestine and Egypt next to each other, yet separated by a wire. I felt the difference between the two flags, and that this wire is the border of a big prison that we live in. I felt how stupid and unjust the world is, and I felt like breaking all borders and ending all differences between races and religions so that everyone in the world would be brothers. My dream became to live in a safe country, even in a small village, in a distant island, at the end of the world.
Till today, I'm scared they will bomb our house. That's why, you can ask my mom, I sleep with 3 mattresses under me, so that when there is a bombing, the mattresses will absorb the hits. nothing will happen to me. I hate dreaming. Dreams are not in our control. I think that Ali, that's me, before the war is different from Ali after the war, who is a new person that I'm trying to discover. Before the war, I didn't understand anything about politics. I didn't know the head of state from the prime minister. I never listened to news, but today, I became a political analyst. Al Jazeera this morning, midday, this evening, harvest of the day, harvest of the week. I started following all these programs and discussing them. I started feeling that politics and news are very important in my life because they are what kills us and gives us life. Also because I want to be the first to know if there's going to be another war.
هبة اللي كانت في مدرجات غزة في 2008. هبة اليوم صارت أم وزوجة لطفل وعندها طفلين، عندي بنت وولد. في الحرب هذه دمرت كل إشي تماما اتدمر. أنا كنت في بيتي مع زوجي وأولادي ودمروا البيت اللي أنا فيه، قصفوه. فوقتها فقدت زوجي تحت الركام. بعد ما ضليتني أبحث عن زوجي وأقيم الركام ولقيت زوجي، كان زوجي جريح للأسف، كان عنده في جلدة الرأس مقطوعة وودنه أيضا واقع. بعد 40 ساعة لما قدرنا نوصل للمستشفى بعد حصار من الإسرائيليين، وصلنا للمستشفى غرزوا له ودنه مجرد غرز، ما قدروا يعملوا له أي شيء لأنه ما في أطباء، ما في طاقم طبي في المستشفى. في النهاية ودنه حاليا القناة بتاعت السمع مغلقة تماما أغلقت، ما بقدر يسمع فيها، وبحاجة عاجلة جدا لعملية وتدخل طبي خارج غزة.
Why is the whole world at rest while we're living in the firmament?